Dude, we actually got a good fish. What is up, my dogs? Lawson here. Today we're gonna try our best to make a mullet swim bait, like hand carve a swim bait to look like a mullet, and then once it's done we're gonna take it to the water and hopefully catch some big fish on it. So we're gonna start out our sculpting here with that drawing right there. We're gonna take this, I'm gonna cut it out with a razor blade, we're gonna lay it onto a block of wood here, and then we're gonna use a saw, split this wood in half to kind of thin down the amount of material we're using with, and then we're gonna use a jigsaw to cut the rough shape of the mullet. We're just bringing this thing to shape right now, and we're gonna sand it down to kind of get the proper shape, and then we're gonna mark some lines to basically give the body depth and to narrow it out from the head to the tail, and use just the hand saw to finish that off. This is actually the version 4 of this bait right here, and I've been trying to film this over the past week or so because I just want it to be really good. So this is the first one I did, which I'm actually really happy about how the details look on this here, but it doesn't really look like anything. This would turn out to be a lot better soft bait if you were to make a mold, like a master uses a master, make a mold out of it and pour soft plastic. That would look great, but it doesn't really look like a mullet. Then I was doing this bait right here, and I realized like halfway through carving it, I'm like, this is enormous, it's not gonna work. Then did this bait, which I was actually kind of happy with how it's turning out, but I messed up the rings a little bit, and I forgot to put a weight inside of it before painting it all, and so I tried to drill some holes in to add weight to it and ended up splitting the wood in a few different places and ruining it, and the tail was also too big. It wouldn't swim well with a tail like that. Then fourth version was this little guy right here, and it actually swims a little bit, but I'm not super happy with how it looks. I basically messed up the back part, so I wanted to do a straight tail bait, and I sanded a lot of the paint off. That's why it looks so ugly, but the gill plate details were kind of really weak, and it swims almost like a little like glide bait, like a little snake, but it doesn't have great action because the rings in between aren't done very well. So I really want to do a great job, and so now we are working on version numero 5 here. 5? Yeah, 5. Yeah, version 5.
We're gonna run through this quick. We cut our joint, we drill an eye hole, we carve some gill details, then we drill in a bit of a weight hole, and then for some reason in the middle of this, I decided to see if I cut my toes off by starting a fire at the middle of the day in Florida. Then time for some terrible painting.
Oh god, I'm gonna spray paint my phone.
And then connecting the joints that we've cut with wire. Then gluing an eye so the bait can see how horrible it looks. Give her a dunk, and then we let it dry. Gotta go test this bad boy out.
Let us see how she swims. Her maiden voyage right here. Throwing it on 30-pound mono. This is kind of like one of my swim bait setups. I weighed the mullet on a gram scale, and it weighs 1.5 ounces, which is absolutely perfect. Let's see how the old swim bait swims. Oh my gosh, it doesn't even swim.
I poured my heart and soul into this thing, and it doesn't even work. How could this do this to me after everything I've done for it? I have to start over, but I can't with him still around. Well, that's that. Back to the build number 6. And first we gotta pick the lock on my shed because I lost my key. Then I'm gonna pretend to draw a picture of a mullet that I actually drew last night. Then we're gonna put that onto the piece of wood we're gonna be using, and we're gonna cut it out with a jigsaw. Then we sand it down to bring some shape to the bait. This is where I think I messed up in my past build, is that I didn't take a lot of care with my saw cut, and so I made two 45-degree angle wedges, and I'm cutting the bait very carefully and painstakingly to make sure I get the angle right. Then I bust out a small hand saw and some sandpaper to make a taper in the bait to make it a little more hydrodynamic. Then I busted out the razor blade to carve in the gill plate details and took this little sanding pen to just clean it all up. I measure out my pilot holes that I'm going to cut with my drill to put my joints to connect the two baits together. And then I took a drill and a hanger and some wire to make my joints and my line tie. Then took a quick break to watch these two psychopaths destroy my yard. I then cut a hole out in my bait to drop a tungsten weight in, and then we're going to smother the whole entire bait in super glue to seal that sucker up. Then show off your brand new connected bait by putting it neither in frame or focus. Then we're going to spray paint this whole sucker up and start working on our paint scheme. I made this little tail, painted a base layer of white, and I'm actually really happy with how this is coming out. I then used this mesh bag to create a scale pattern that didn't suck, I guess. Then super glued the eyeballs on, and once that was all done, it was time to dip it in some clear coat and let that thing gloss out and rest.
All right, we are out here. It is a crazy, crazy morning. Super foggy. The current is blowing hard. The weather's been horrible for like the past 2 months, basically in Florida, but really like the past month. And I should be throwing a topwater right now because it's foggy and overcast. And I'm sure they're munching on top, but instead we're gonna throw the hand crafter and hopefully catch a snook or a tarpon or a jack or something on it. I'm very excited to throw this, man. Hopefully it doesn't like rip apart at the seat. It does, in fact, have a nice little wiggle. It's not great, but it's not horrible. It's not good. But I think we can catch a fish on it. I'm make sure my drag's like pretty loose. I'm also fishing a rod with mono for extra stretch. So if I hook into something decent, it doesn't just like explode the hooks off this thing. See, that's hard. When I reel it fast, it actually has a pretty good action, but I don't particularly want to fish this super fast. But, I mean, luckily, I guess in salt water, I can get away with fishing something fast. Honestly, dude, that fast action is pretty dang good. Look at that. Honestly, it's actually got a really nice open glide on it. I think this is going to work fine. It's going to work quite dandily. Yeah, so a snook or a jack is gonna smash this. I feel really confident, actually. I'm like, giddy, bro. Oh, it's working. I want to get it up underneath this dock, but I'm so afraid to break this bait. Oh, I just got followed up by a snook right there. No way. Oh, crap. It wasn't a big one, but I saw him flash right at the last second. Oh, I just had something big wake on me. Holy crap. Maybe they'll come back for it. There's a fish. Oh, that's a big snook. A big snook is eating my freaking swim bait. I don't even know what to think right now. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I just don't know how these hook hangers are gonna hold up. I need this boat to turn. This has got to be A sick joke. He's not a giant, but it's a good snook. Look at that fish. He is so thick. You gotta be kidding me. Try to walk him out a little bit from the structure here. Dude, we actually got a good fish. Oh, he's like literally diving into my trolling motor right now. Oh, don't do that to me, hombre. Don't do that to me. Let's see where we're at. Oh, you are really trying to do me dirty here. Stud. You gotta be kidding me. Look at that snook on the hand-carved lure. That's probably a 28-inch snook, maybe 29, or right in the slot. And he freaking slammed the mullet. I could not be more stoked right now. Oh, you guys, what an amazing fish. That's like the perfect size snook. You obviously would love to catch a giant, but that's such a solid fish. And the little handmade glide hanging out of his mouth. I've only been fishing for 25 minutes. I can't believe it actually worked. I'm in disbelief. Oh, Lord almighty. Thank you, thank you. All right, release on big boy right here. Just swing him from side to side. Gave us a good fight. Get some of that lactic acid out of him. What a studly little fish, man. You guys ain't too little. Thank you, sir. Come on. I can't believe that. I'm so stoked right now, dude. And the bait held up. None of the hook hangers came out. And that's like a solid fish to run a test on. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's epic. I'm blown away. We're gonna keep fishing this thing, and if we don't catch another fish, I don't even care. If we catch 10 more fish, great. But the little glide has produced a good snook. Oh, hey, if you enjoy this type of video, doing the hand carving thing, like this is like the most fun I've had filming a video in probably a really long time. Drop a like and leave a comment. Let me know what else I should try. I have a ton of ideas of doing like different types of bait fish, different types of predator fish, because like there's not a ton of like unique saltwater hand carved baits like that. And I'll leave some links down below for actual YouTubers who know what they're doing when it comes to hand carving, because I've got a lot of inspiration from those guys. But man, I'm blown away. Oh, a snook right here. Perfect. Wasn't close enough to him. Hey, he spooked, I think. Alright, let's see if maybe we can finagle another fish before we call it a morning here. So, what would I rate this bait? Toughness, maybe like a 4, because I've caught a single fish on it, and I've really been pretty ginger about not casting into things. And I can already see I've chipped off some paint on the front side, and I can't tell if it's prior or not, but it looks like the rings that are holding them together might be kind of separating. I can't tell. Casting ability is maybe a 2 out of 10. I can cast it, but it throws like maybe a crispy sock you might find underneath like your little brother's bed or something like that. It just kind of spirals when it throws out. Swimming wise, maybe a 4 out of 10. It swims. It doesn't look that great, but it swims. But then you gotta factor in the fact that I caught a fish on it, you know? a good fish. So I don't know what to think. Does it look great? No, not really. Maybe appearance, I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. So we're rocking maybe like a 3 out of 10 average, but we caught a big snook. So I don't know. I'm proud of this guy. He did me good. He did me real good. I'm not kidding, this thing throws so whack that I'm backlashing on most casts because it throws out in literally a torpedo helicopter shape. Well, honestly, I think I'll quit while I'm ahead here. I don't want to snap this bait in half and be ultimately depressed. I'm just gonna go out victorious with a snook on the handcrafted swim bait. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, and like I mentioned earlier, I'll leave some links for people who actually know what they're doing. But I really enjoyed doing this, and it should theoretically only get better, because I hope to God I would get better at carving. You know, I'm not like totally disappointed on this initial outcome here. I think we made a bait that swims. It took me like 7 tries, but we did it, and I learned a ton, and from here on out it should only be better, and I have lots and lots of glorious ideas. Anyhow, that's it for me, guys. Until the next Juan, see ya.